name is Brianna Roque, and I will be discussing the effects of Asparagopsis seaweed to reduce enteric methane emissions. Methane is produced during the fermentation of feed within the rumen and contributes about 28% of total methane emissions in California, which is important because California legislation mandates a 40% reduction of methane by 2030. Asparagopsis armata was previously tested in lactating dairy cows and was found to reduce enteric methane by 20 to 43% using 0.5% and 1% dosage rates over 14 days. To date, there has been no long-term study investigating the persistence of Asparagopsis to reduce enteric methane. This study was conducted to first determine the long-term effect of Asparagopsis taxiformis on methane emissions. Asparagopsis taxiformis will be referred to as A. taxiformis and was chosen due to its higher potency of methane-reducing compounds. The second objective of this study was to quantify the effects on feed intake and animal production in growing beef steers. The third objective was to observe the effects of A. taxiformis on reducing methane over a variety of different diets. The inclusion rates chosen for this study were 0.25 and 0.5%, which is half the inclusion rate compared to the lactating dairy study. Figure 1 shows that at 0.25% inclusion rate of A. taxiformis, methane yield is reduced by 45% and dry matter intake by 8% on average. The 0.5% inclusion rate reduced methane yield by 68% and dry matter intake by 14% on average. Table 1 shows no significant differences in average daily gains between the three treatment groups. With a drop in feed intake and no changes in weight gain, feed efficiency increased by 7% and 14% for the 0.25 and 0.5% inclusion rates respectively. Cost per kilogram of weight gain also appeared to decrease for both treatment groups. Figure 2 shows methane reduction over high, mid, and low forage diets fed consecutively. A. taxiformis reduced methane for all three diets and has the largest effect on the low forage diet with up to an 80% reduction in methane yield. The key takeaways from this study are first that A. taxiformis works to reduce methane long term with no indication of reduced effectiveness over the 147-day trial. And second, seaweed such as A. taxiformis proves to be a viable feed additive for livestock producers to meet California legislation and may also work to increase productivity in their herd. Please scan the QR code provided for more information on this study. I would also like to take the time to thank the co-authors and funding institutions for their support.